Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about researching topics for a new niche, and there are various stages involved in researching a new niche, and one of them, probably the most important, is the actual topics you're going to create content about. The figures in keyword planners are less reliable than putting your finger up in the air to find out which way the wind's blowing. Just too many variables involved to get an accurate handle on real life figures. They're just wildly out most of the time, unless, well, just they are. What I like to do when I create a new site is just put content on it. Typically, I'll target long tail keywords, and by that I mean typically keyword phrases 4, 5, 6, 7 words long. Everyone else is targeting the relatively short 2, 3, 4 word phrases that you'll find in keyword planners. And I don't much care about the volume they're supposed to attract, because you're creating with every man and his dog, or competing with them even. The main test that I do is whether or not the title I'm thinking about creating new content for comes up in the suggestions that show as you type. If that's the case, that's a good start. Google uses current data for those suggestions. Bing probably does as well, but since I don't often use it, I'm not 100% certain. But you can test easily for yourself when there's a new name for a storm or something else has just hit the headlines. The suggestions are normally exceptionally up to date. If you go back to something that was in the news a while ago, maybe a year, but subsided, the suggestions reflect that too. They've changed. They really do change on a hourly basis probably. And at stage one, is the possible topic one of the search suggestions? And I'll actually use the search suggestions to come up with the topic. I'll just type in my main phrase, put a cursor at the start or the end of it, maybe type how to or something, or just go through the alphabet at the end of it, just do A, B, C and so on, see what comes up. Lots and lots of different ways, and you come up with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of content suggestions there. And sometimes that's the extent of my research, but usually I'll at least glance at the results that show up. And that's stage two. It's optional, but does the phrase show in the title of the first few results? And usually the phrases I've chosen are sufficiently obscure, even though they're showing up in the suggestions, that none of the first page of results has that precise phrase in them. Quite often similar phrases, but not that precise one. So it's not how people are searching. That's the critical part about this. And that's great news, because Google likes to give relevant results. So my article or video with that phrase are much more likely to get shown quicker rather than waiting for a month or Sunday. And I don't care if there's a snippet at the top of the result. Those snippets seem to come and go with no real pattern I've worked out. And I suspect they're still being tested, especially on results where there are few, if any, adverts, because Google would rather keep you on the search results in the hope that you'll carry out another search and click on an advert eventually. Some people are worried if there are no adverts on the results, and I just assume the phrase doesn't show up in the keyword tool, so people aren't targeting it, or it's just so long tail people aren't doing it. Or that they wouldn't earn enough on a click to justify putting up an advert, or it just doesn't pay their time. If the advert's only getting shown once every day or two, it's not worth creating an ad for, or even putting it in the list of phrases. So personally I don't worry if that's the case, but what we're doing is much longer term, and we're not paying per click either, so that's a benefit. This kind of content just won't attract masses of traffic. If it does, it's a bonus. Typically the page will get one view every day or two, maybe even less, but it's a one-off time or cost to create the content. At the moment, a basic 700 word article on iWriter currently costs $5. And then it takes a few minutes to edit for Western English rather than English as a second language English. Then the content basically stays unless I drop the site, so it's online for likely years. So that view every day or two, say that's 180 views over the year, that's plenty. Over 5 years, that's what, nearly 500, something like that. It mounts up. Okay, it takes time, but you're doing another one tomorrow. One thing I'm testing at the moment is putting the article up as a slideshow style video, as well as content on my sites. About 10 slides like the one you're looking at now is about 500 words of content. Personally, I'll aim for about 15 or more slides, so the video is a decent length, and the article is too. That way I get double duty from the articles, actually triple duty, because I get a video on YouTube and a video on Facebook, and they're two different markets, and it doesn't take much to upload it to both places, and I get an article on the website as well. If I write the slides personally, and therefore the article from scratch, record it, upload it in those two places, write a description, copy and paste it onto a website. The whole process takes 30-40 minutes. I'm a fairly fast typist, but even if it takes a bit longer, it's still pretty good. And if you outsource the article creation, that's probably most of that time. So that's what happens. It's easy. And even if it took you an hour or so until you got up to speed, that's still perfectly doable. Create one of these most days. In a month, you've got 20 to 30 new pieces of content in 3 different places. And don't worry about duplicating the content. Facebook's self-contained. YouTube's a massive site and it's videos. Videos get indexed differently in Google from written content. And duplicate content only really applies on same site anyway. So I don't worry about duplicate. And the beauty of this system is it's just simple. It's not much more complicated than writing an article, but it gets a lot more use out of the content. After a month or two, you can look at the stats and find out which topics are of interest to your target audience. Sure, you won't have gigantic stats, but 1 or 2 will probably stick out more than others, and you'll have a lot better idea than if you'd simply been doing academic research and not created any content. So you've got that great big long spreadsheet of keyword ideas that just stays on your hard drive. Been there, done that. And even if you only do this with 1 new piece of content a week, you've still got 50 pieces in a year's time. And that's definitely enough to tell you what the market's interested in. And it should be getting you some sales from the links you've woven into your new content as well, because affiliate links are easy to place, and providing you create decent content in the first place, people are willing to click the links. They've been trained by Wikipedia and lots of other places. Some will buy the products you suggest, and all that happens with a one-off time and maybe money investment. And if you'd like some more information like this on a weekly basis, why not consider joining my tutor group? Every week you'll get a new video about internet marketing, and you'll get access to the complete archives as well. The videos are pretty much like this, relatively short, usually under 10 minutes, but something that I think helps, and you can always contribute and send me an email and say, what about doing a video about this? And it's for a bargain price, so click the link below this video to find out more. Okay, thanks for watching, and if you're already in my tutor group and want to know anything else, drop me a message. Thanks.